Okay, so I am going to try to do this in pretty much an uncut format. I got some things to do today, and I just thought about making this video because I was inspired to. But this video is why I stopped doing the planets and why the planets will most likely never come back. I don't even know really where to start with this. I guess I'll start with, in 2019, I came up with a series on TikTok called If the Planets Had a Meeting. Before that, I knew I wanted to be a content creator. I wanted to be known. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to do this for a living because I started with mechanical engineering in a school bus. I started with mechanical engineering and I said, this isn't for me. And that's the thing. One second. I have always had a good sense of when I'm on the right path. I've always followed that gut feeling. I've always tried to the best of my ability, and it's always worked out for me. I've always had a good sense of what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, I'm doing this now. Now I'm not doing this. You know, I've always switched when I felt I needed to, and I followed that because some people, they tend to stay even when they know their time has kind of, you know, spent up. But you know, because we're not all meant to be in the same spot. I hope I'm making sense. You know, I've always moved as I felt I needed to. And I knew I wanted to be a content creator. So when I discovered this idea, the planets, I did it and the response was insane. 1 million views in a night. Every video after that during TikTok, and TikTok was just on an increase. So I just had a sense of I should just keep doing this. First off, this is my big break, right? So I started the series and I was like, this is what I can really show them. I can show them my range, I can show them my music ability, I can show everyone this, da 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 da. And I went on and it was great. And I have no regrets of doing the planets because that's what I was supposed to do at that time. So the planets was great for the time that I've done the planets. I've touched so many people. I've educated in schools. Teachers have told me that they use my videos. But then it started to get to a certain point where the planets were taking from me as entities. Like if I wouldn't have an idea immediately for the planets, I'd have to kind of force, you know, a story or something. And I was kind of relying on the planets to really, you know, live, pay bills, feed. And new videos equals merch being sold equals, you know, me being able to continue doing this. And to that point, you kind of can become a slave to your work at a certain point. And I do other things. It's not mainly that, but it just started to feel forced. Like, you know, I wasn't born or put on this planet to be representing the planets and, you know, giving my body and my platform to these entities. The school bus is back. So at a point, these planets started to, in a way, become my gods, because if people were in my comments saying, hey, I'm only here for the planets, or hey, where are the videos? Where are this? You know, people wanted me to be that. There's so many people that didn't care about who I was as a human being, about, you know, there are other videos that I make that are just as good, just as talented, but all you want is to see me as Venus. All you care about is me as Neptune. All you care about is seeing baby Pluto again. And it doesn't feel good from a human being standpoint. And I know a lot of times everyone knows that, you know, a lot of the viewers a lot of times are disconnected that these content creators and people you see on YouTube and the internet have feelings and emotions just as you do. I'm not gonna sit here and be a crybaby about that. We all know that's true. But I felt that I needed to, that this wasn't it. It's just, I felt like this is running its course. I'm not being fulfilled. And that's the thing. I've always chased internal fulfillment. It's never been about money for me. The money's good, money's great, but if I'm making money and I feel like crap inside, if I don't enjoy my work, because I'm so talented, I have so many different talents, and I've been able to do anything that I've imagined to be able to do. I can feel good doing things. You know, I can say if I'm bored at making beats, I'll go and, you know, write a story. If I'm bored at writing, I'll go make a funny video. If I'm bored with that, I'll go and, you know, draw something. I just had so many different avenues I could express myself and entertain myself in different ways. So I wasn't really being entertained. It felt like I was pushing something. But then I got to a point and just said, you know, what am I doing all this for? And I started to understand at the end of the day, spiritually, if I'm not being spiritually fulfilled, what is going on? I felt like I was giving my body and my purpose to these pagan entities. And I don't want anyone to think I'm coming from a Bible thumper perspective. No, if you reduce it down to all of the levels, these planets are named by the Greeks as pagan gods. You know, they just swap them to the names. So these entities and these spirits that I believe are very real, I believe these dimensions are real, I believe that thoughts are things, words are things become things. I think these entities were being glorified through me, and that doesn't feel good. You know, Pluto, if you look up all of the mythology between Venus, Pluto, Jupiter, you know, Mercury, all of these entities, these names, these spirits, all these lesser spirits, if you're familiar with the Bible and spirituality, all these lesser spirits crave is to be worshipped as God, because they all fell from heaven and because they wanted to be like God, and God is to be worshipped. So all of this is worship. Hey, what's going on? 6 rings. Hey, what's up, Pluto? What's going on? Like, people wouldn't even call me. They just call me by the planet that they like or something. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm being a conduit for these planets, multiple. So it kind of just feels like, at a point, it just kind of felt like a planetary orgy was being ran through on me, like low key. Like, cause I'd have to switch and be these different entities. And it takes a lot to be able to play all these multiple characters and write these stories. And it is me, I do get to drive it in a certain sense, but it's like at the end of the day, they got to have their way with me, because it got to a point where you want to sell more shirts, you want to do this, you know, make another video, you know, put on a shirt, you know, tie your hair back and do the Venus voice. And it doesn't feel good. Like, I was not ultimately maintaining in myself. I was losing, everything comes at a cost. So I said, what's real? I kind of just let's get to the solution here. So I said, what is real? If I don't feel good doing this, I'm not about to just give my purpose away, because I was definitely supposed to do that. That's why the planets are still up. That's why there's still videos. But yeah, so I don't regret what I was doing. And I said, where do I go from here? And I said, you know what? If these are pagan entities and I'm not supposed to be doing this, what do I do now? So what do I do now? And I said, let me go to my Bible. Something just told me, let me go to my Bible. And it was different. I can explain to you what exactly happened, but it was like a bolt of lightning hit me. And it was like, this is who's been running the show the whole time. You know, we've set everything up to this point. This is the main plot, and that's it. A lot of times we can steer away from the plot. You know, it could come in the form of, you know, you're not supposed to be in this job anymore. You know, this job was good for a time, but now it's not. You know, there's new management, or things have just run its course. You know, you're not supposed to be in this relationship. You know the foundations of this relationship. You know you're not supposed to, you know, stay in this house with these people, whether it be your family, whether it be roommates. You know, things run its course, and it's very hard sometimes for people to know, not even to know, because a lot of times we do know, but we're scared, we're attached, and we're afraid to take these leaps of faith. And that's where faith comes in. Because when it's just saying, like, you know, you're not supposed to be in this house anymore. You know, you're supposed to break this leash. You're supposed to break up with this girl. You're supposed to break up with this guy. You're not supposed to be in this place anymore. Now, a place is figurative for a situation, a relationship, a job, any attachment. You know, you're supposed to detach. but we're afraid to detach sometimes. So I just finally, got up the courage to just detach and say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, and find my path. And my path really has become to glorify and educate, because I understood that when you strip everything away, and I've been fortunate enough to be given a life where I don't have the distraction of the 9 to 5. I don't have the distraction of just certain things that everyday people have to deal with. So I've been able to strip away. I've taken the time to be able to sit down and self-reflect, because every day people, it's like the devil distracts you away from doing what you need to do by keeping you busy, by keeping you, deadline for work. This person needs that. There's a family issue. You got to take care of this. We're not able to work on ourselves because we're worried about paying the bills, how we're going to survive, how we're going to provide. So I've just kind of been incubated into a great system. I've been incubated in a perfect place to be able to really say, okay, well, what's real? I've just been able to strip down. And I've stripped down to the point, well, what is really at the bottom floor here? What's the foundation? And it's really a story. Everything is a story of souls won and souls lost, because Jesus is the answer. That is what it is. And I can't say I hate to, because, it's just this whole thing, but that's really what it comes down to, because this whole spiritual thing, the world is becoming so corrupt, and as the world becomes more corrupt, it becomes more obvious who's running things down here. And I've relied on God so many times, and I've looked, the things I have gotten from my Holy Bible, the amount of anointing I've gone through, the amount of times where I've literally called on God, and God has literally, beyond a shadow of a doubt, no point of coincidence, has intervened to save my life and to improve things around me. It has become a shadow of a doubt. So I know Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior, and through him everything is saved. And at the point of that, then once you realize that, it becomes, how many distractions are there that just by a little bit of tweaking and rephrasing pull you away from Jesus is the answer? All the other religions, all these multiple denominations of this and that, and it's so much content, it can just be confusing by analysis. But it comes to the point where if you have Jesus Christ, you're saved. And I just wanted to help be a part of that. So that's why when you see my content with God, when you see everything that I'm talking about, spiritually, reframing the Bible, any Christian type merch that you may see coming out, it's all to glorify God through the content, and to get people to get back on the plot, really, because we all have our own missions when it comes to God. And I'm glad that I've been able to really make it back to the plot, because a lot of people do get lost. A lot of people get lost in the sauce. A lot of people sign contracts with themselves, with people that tie them up, and don't allow them to stick to the plot. But yeah, I'm glad that I've been able to navigate, and the Holy Spirit has been able to navigate me, and keep me on this path. So thank you to anyone who's supported the planets. I don't want it to seem like I'm not grateful for that moment, because everything has been God, So God has said, let me show you this through the planets. Let me show you the highs that you can reach. Let me show you what is on this side. And then let me take that away, like Job, and let me show you what's possible to do through me. It's like, that was the first half, and now you worked for me now. Now let's do things, the right way. And I'm like, okay, let's do it, because I know it's possible. Anything can, God will always do a new thing. And so I will always get to where I need to go. I just want to make sure it's not the destination, it's how you get there. And I want to make sure that I get there correctly. I would have hated to lose myself to the clout, to the money, to the women, to any fleshly fulfillment, because man, the flesh is so addicting. We love stuff, down to the food we know we shouldn't be eating, down to the people that we hang around, the gratification, down to the, oh my gosh, I love you and I love your videos. I mean, like we can let that get to our head. And I'm just so glad that I've been processed in a way that I don't let it steer me too far. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to anyone who supported me, anyone who's still here, anyone who's been here. Thank you so much. May God bless you. And I'm excited for this journey and looking forward to it just as much as you are. So, praise be to God, praise be to the Most High, and I thank God every day for sending His only begotten Son to save us from our wickedness. So, stay prayed up. God always forgives. That ain't even the question. You just got to go to Him first. And one thing I just want to say, I'll save that. God bless.